Hey everybody, welcome back to My Pop Heart. I am your host, Meli. Okay, so this one is called My First Pop. So I made a short list of firsts in my life. Is the word first in my life or first is a word? Hey Siri, is firsts a word? Okay. Good night. Also, make sure you like and subscribe. I don't know if I should say this at the beginning and end of the video or just the end of the video. So I'm just going to say it at the whole time. Even pause it and like it and subscribe and comment and do all the things. Okay. So first, we have the first music video that oh yeah, and also this list that I'm about to go down. This is from my recollection. Literally every single one of these could be wrong, and I just don't know. But from my recollection, this is so literally all of these could be wrong. But from what I can remember from the past day, this is what I remember to be my first. So, first one is first music video that I remember ever watching. And the first one for me was Tina Turner's What's Love Got to Do with It video. I believe it was playing at my grandma's house whenever I was younger, just like in the background. I don't think everybody was just like sitting and watching it, but I think it was just like playing. It was on some like VH1 classic channel, maybe a VH1 classic channel where they play like old music videos and old music. So from what I can remember, that was the first one that I watched was Tina Turner, and I'm just like, I love Tina Turner. So yeah, that's what I can remember. And she was doing her thing. Like, oh my gosh, do we have any like black female rock stars currently? I don't think we do. I don't think we have any. I think we are due for one. Okay. The first concert that I've ever been to. So this one is like a double for me. So basically, I went to um Charlotte, North Carolina's Pride years ago, so many years ago, and Seven Streeter performed at the Pride, and she did like 5 or 6 songs. So that was like for me, that was like the first like concert that I went to because I was like, oh my gosh, like a singer that I know. There's like a whole thing, choreography, like ballads, like a whole thing. And so for me, that was the first like concert that I went to of just being like, whoa, this is a concert. But the first concert that I paid to go to, and this is my recollection, I've been to a few concerts, but like I think the first one that I paid to go to was 30 Seconds to Mars and Muse. So I went for Muse, and 30 Seconds to Mars was their opening act, which, oh, Jared Leto, I'd pay to see him any day. But yeah, it was great. It was so fun, and the funny story with that was I went with my friend Bea, and it was funny because I knew a couple of Muse's songs because at the time I was hanging out with this like group of friends, and one of the one of the friends, he loved Muse. He loved Muse, and he would listen to their music all the time. So I had some like knowledge of Muse. So whenever Bea told me like, "Hey, like there's a Muse concert," I'm gonna just spit all over my mind. Which is like, but she was like, "Okay, there's a Muse concert, and some friends of mine are going, and it's like really cheap. Like we got the tickets for cheap. Like, do you want to go? Like, have you ever heard of them?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, yes!" Like, Homeboy talks about Muse all the time, and I hear some of their music. So there was like maybe 3 or 4 songs that I like knew, like the melody and like the beat. And she was like, "I don't think I've heard one song of the Muse, but I really want to go to this concert because it's like a fun group that's going, and they're all like older than us." So she wanted to be like, like with the older group that's like fun. And so I was like, okay, like I'll go. And she was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have so much fun. But Bea's like the type of girl that would just like any kind of event, she's hitting up the mall to find an outfit or brand new shoes. It literally could be like the smallest event, and she's just like FaceTiming me, like, "Oh my god, should I buy these? Should I buy these shoes?" And I'm just like, "How much are the shoes?" She's like, $350. I'm like, "Bea, you're going to your niece's graduation." Just like things like that. So like her going to this Muse concert, like we went to like the mall and like other places throughout the day. And so we kind of like studied Muse like leading up to the concert. We literally was like in her car just on the highway like listening to like almost every album, just listening to the songs and being like, "Oh, I like this song." And trying to learn the words to the concert because the group of people that we were going with were like big 30 Seconds to Mars and Muse fans. And we were just like barely like I liked Muse, but I wasn't like a huge fan. And we literally was like studying the lyrics to the songs. And it was just so funny looking back at that, like literally all day on the interstate, driving here, driving there, driving to get fast food. And we're just like listening to the song. And we had a couple of them that was like our favorite that we were just like, oh my God, like this song is so good. And so, literally, fast forward to the concert. And so, when those songs came out, we were just like, oh my God. Like, we turned into these like groupie fans. And we're just like, ah. And we're, oh, yeah. And on top of that, we pre-gamed. And so, we got drunk before going in. And literally, we're like, ah, our song. Okay. My first crush that I can remember, my first celebrity crush. It was Justin Timberlake. There was just oof. I don't know. I'm really trying to think, but I don't know if it was my first time seeing him in the NSYNC music video. 'Cause he just has this like oof charisma. Justin Timberlake. I don't know if it was a NSYNC music video or if it was him playing in Model Behavior. I don't know if y'all remember this movie Model Behavior. But oh my gosh, y'all. Model Behavior was just everything. I love that movie. That movie maybe was Model Behavior an original decom? I don't think Model Behavior was a decom, but they played it on Disney Channel like it was an original decom. But I think it was also one of those movies that was like a ABC movie and they played it on Disney Channel for like the younger group. Yes, it was one of those. It was either that because he was so hot in Model Behavior. He was just very smooth. All I remember is him just kind of like gliding in the room and being smooth and just being like, "Babe, what's going on with you? Like you're being different." Just the confidence in him and the way that he just like looks at the camera is just very like it's good. I'm a JC fan. I grew up, it was like when I was younger was Justin Timberlake, but then the older I got, I was just like, JC is that dude. Like he is that dude. He got the whole package. He is so fun. He's just so like he gives that like R&B feel too, like to the group. And he's just everything. He can dance, sing, like all of it. Okay. First movie that I remember watching in cinemas at the theater. Also, this is from my recollection. I this one honestly could be out of all the answers could be wrong, but from what I can remember, it was Spider-Man Tobey Maguire. I believe I've been to the movies to watch every single Spider-Man in cinemas, which I'm so proud of. I'm so proud that I've watched every Spider-Man in theaters. That oof, it was might have been like my birthday or one of my siblings' birthday because that used to be a thing with my mom. She would take us to the movies sometimes for some of our birthdays. That was like our special thing. Like she'd buy snacks and stuff, or we'd literally. I remember. I remember a time where it was me and my six siblings. No, I have five siblings. I'm the sixth. I'm six in total. And and my mom and literally we hit up Wendy's before going into the theaters. And she had her big purse and she literally loaded that thing up with fries and burgers because at the time the junior bacon cheeseburgers were only like $1. So she loaded that thing up, and I remember us being in the theater and her being like, pass down the burger. And my younger siblings got like, chicken nuggets and stuff. So she'd be like, get the chicken nuggets to Aaron. And then like give the burger to Kobe. And then passing down our fries and the sauces out of her purse. And we're all just like eating Wendy's while watching movies. But yeah, the first movie that I remember watching is Spider-Man. It was with another sibling. So it might have been my brother Kobe's birthday. So yeah, Spider-Man. And I love all the Spider-Man movies. You already know I'm a huge Marvel fan, just superheroes in general. But yeah, I can say that I am like one of the original. Like, I went to theaters to watch Blade 2, which was terrifying, me being so young watching that. The first choreography that I learned. So, on the weekends, my mom and my aunts would drop me and my cousins and some of my siblings off at my grandmother's house on the weekends. Like, we'd go to school throughout the week, Monday through Friday, and that Friday, shoot, they would drop us off. They'd be like, "Bye, kids, bye," just to have their like alone time, peace of mind, because we were a lot. And so I was always a part of the girls slash boy bands of the family. And yeah, we were the original S Club. If y'all remember the S Club. So yeah, and we used to learn choreography. We used to make up our own choreography. Like, so my first choreography learned was the Cheetah Girls 2 choreography. Before then, me and my cousins and my siblings would just make up our own choreography and like our own songs and stuff. I was part of all of that. Literally every song that we made up, I was a part of it. I came up with most of the lyrics. Like, basically I was like the Raven, if you want to be technical, even though like whenever we would like do the Cheetah Girls songs and dances, I was always Chanel, Adrian Balone. But um when it came to like writing and producing our own stuff, I was basically the Galleria from the first Galleria for the first movie. I was basically the Galleria, where you remember she'd get into arguments with like the rest of the girls, and she'd be like, "Hey, I did write the songs." Like, literally, me, like, go with the dance moves and everything. I was part of the all of the process. And I believe the first one that we learned was the party just begun. The party's just begun by the Cheetah Girls. So good. I still remember some of it. Maybe I might put that on TikTok because I'm gonna start trying to do this TikTok thing, y'all. Literally pray for me because I literally feel like a freaking old millennial when it comes to TikTok because I still don't know really how to do it. I still don't know how to TikTok. I'm gonna have to like hire somebody to like show me. I'm like looking up like YouTube videos and stuff. But yeah, Cheetah Girls 2. First reality TV show that I've watched that I remember watching. I believe I'm gonna say The Bachelorette, the first season of The Bachelorette. I believe my mom was watching it and I came into her room and just like sat down because that's literally how a lot of shows that I grew up watching that I should have not been watching at a young age. A lot of that came from like my mom just like watching TV and me just like coming in the room and just sitting down and be like, what is this? And then me being like, oh my God, I have to see this through. I think it was The Bachelorette was like the first reality TV show that I was just like, whoa, okay, so there's like 20 something guys like all fighting for the love of like one person. Like, this is wild. Like, being young and just you just see like, the man and the woman fall in love and that love story, and then going from that and then seeing like, okay, there's like 20 guys all trying to like fight for the love of one person. Like, this is crazy. That was the first like competition reality show. But if I want to talk about like reality TV and like somebody's life, someone being followed around with like cameras, I'm gonna say it might have been either Run's house or The Simple Life. Because I don't know if I watched The Simple Life whenever it premiered on TV or if I caught the reruns of The Simple Life. So Run's House or The Simple Life was like the first, like being followed around, like showing your life reality TV. I've not turned back. First album that I owned. So the first album, I'm going to say first CD that I owned whenever CDs were popular. First CD that I owned was the Cheetah Girls. Wow. And I bet my mama was like, what in the. That I had the Cheetah Girls. I believe I was at Walmart. Was there? I don't know if there was a package. Let me know if y'all remember. I think there was maybe a package where it was like you get the soundtrack and you get the DVD. Because I had the CD. I owned the first movie, the first Cheetah Girls movie, and the CD. My mama also like enjoyed Cheetah Girls. Like she sat and watched those DComs with us. Like my mom enjoyed the DComs and the Cheetah Girls and the High School Musical movies. So like that was a thing that we did as a family, which is so fun. Like looking back at that, like that's so fun having a mom that enjoyed some of those things too. That was just like, oh my gosh, the premiere of the new Twitches is coming out. Like, oh my gosh, we got to make sure that we get some food and make sure we are like eating good while we watch the premiere of like the new Twitches or the new High School Musical that's coming out. Like, so that's fun because not a lot of people had that. Had parents that really gave a shit about what they watched and things like that. So yeah, Cheetah Girls, the first Cheetah Girls, that was the first album that I owned that my mom bought me from Walmart. My first MySpace song, from what I remember, I don't know if this is correct, but from what I can remember, it was About Us by Brooke Hogan. Y'all older millennials will know what this is. Like, oh my gosh, this song, and I was singing it earlier, like, because it took me a while to think about that. It was like my first MySpace song about it. But yeah, it was About Us by Brooke Hogan. Oh my gosh, the Hogans had a show. If y'all don't know who the Hogans are, Hulk Hogan, WWE, and some like other stuff too. I don't know, some other like wrestling thing. But Hulk Hogan, the big champ, his family was just hilarious, and his family was so interesting. They were all blondes. I think it was called the Hogans? I don't know. But his daughter Brooke wanted to be a pop star, the story that we all have. She wanted to be a pop star and she made it happen. She really did. Like she did it. She rehearsed, she was in the studio, like she did her thing. Kudos to Brooke. I wonder what she's up to now. I hope she's doing well. I have my like layout and my song plan. So whenever you click on my profile, like, oh my god, MySpace was a time. I'm definitely gonna do an episode of MySpace. Like, what a time. The first poster that I put on my wall, I wasn't a huge like poster child. Of like putting a bunch of my friend, oh my god, my girl Jackie, her and her sisters had like their walls covered. They had those like teen magazines where it was like the big pictures of like the Jonas Brothers and like Miley Cyrus, Jesse McCartney, and they had it like all over their walls. I wasn't a huge person that did that, but I did go through a period where I loved putting up posters. But the first poster that I remember putting up on my wall was a High School Musical 2 poster. I had the High School Musical 2 album or DVD, one of those. I think it was the album. And in the album, it came with a poster. And so that was the first one that I remember putting on. Oh, no. Actually, the first poster that I put up on my wall was the High School Musical 1 poster. Yes, because I got it from Walmart. I don't know if Walmart still has that like little area where it's like a bunch of posters that you could put on your wall. Like that was like one of my favorite parts about going to Walmart is looking at the posters. I don't think Walmart does that anymore. And I used to be so excited about it. And I remember I think we all could pick out like one thing from Walmart, and I found the High School Musical poster, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta put this on my wall!" So I had that on my wall, and then whenever I got the High School Musical 2 soundtrack, it came with a poster inside of it. So then I was like, "Oh my god, I have both of the High School Musicals posters on my wall!" I was so happy. I believe I was sharing a room. I was sharing a room with one of my brothers, and I just was like, "This is going on the walls. I don't give a shit." Such a good time. Simpler times. The first podcast that I listened to, first podcast that got me into podcasting. So this one I really don't remember. I do know that it was around 2018, I believe, around 2018 or like the end of 2018 or beginning of 2019, one of those. And I was just like, this podcasting thing, like, and this is before podcasting became a huge thing. Podcasting used to be just like a niche thing, like, oh, this person has a podcast, like, and it used to also only be audio, it wasn't video. Most podcasts now are video, but it used to be just like an audio thing. And so whenever I was working that office 9 to 5 job, um to keep me entertained, because I'm like easily bored, and then I'm like off doing something else. I'm supposed to be like doing work on the computer, and I'm just like off in the break room, like having a conversation with somebody, drinking my third coffee, and just like in the middle of a deep conversation. And so I'm just like, okay, to keep me at this desk and keep me entertained because this is so boring, I I started getting into podcasts, listening to those. So I'd be doing my work and also listening, because it wasn't video. So my attention was still on the screen doing what I'm supposed to, but I'm also being, getting that dopamine from listening to some good conversation and some funny stuff. And so I believe, because this could also be wrong, that, and this was in the iHeartRadio, because I was just like, this is the beginning of podcasting. I don't know where to go to listen to podcasts. So I think I just Googled, and I think it was like iHeartRadio, like podcasts that came up, I believe. And on there was the PHP, which is the Perez Hilton podcast, and Amber Rose had a podcast once upon a time. She might have a new one, honestly, because everyone has a podcast, but this was like when it was a little thing. And Trisha Paytas, those three had like some kind of contract or deal with iHeartRadio podcasts. So they all had theirs on the website. So I would just like go down the list and I'm like, okay, who has a podcast? Let me listen to it. But those three were the three that I listened to the most. Amber Rose's was like so inappropriate. It was like a sex podcast. And I was just like, whoa, like, oh my God. I'm like at work. I'm just like looking around. I'm like, I really hope nobody like comes around here. Like, this is kind of inappropriate to be listened to at work. But it's very informative. It wasn't like a sex podcast where it was just like just them talking about like them hooking up with people. It was like like an informative sex podcast. Um so yeah, that was good. And the PHP, like, come on, it's pop culture. Perez Hilton is like, when it comes to media and stuff, like he's one of the founding fathers. I know he was a dickhead back in the day in the early 2000s, and he said and did some horrible things, but now he's just kind of like, pop culture news. So yeah, that was one of the first ones. And then Trisha, she's just entertainment. Like, if you're working a boring 9 to 5 office cubicle job, Trisha Paytas is like your best bet for entertainment to just take you to a whole different mindset. So yeah. And then that just got into other things of just me listening to other podcasts and like then me starting my own podcast. So yeah, this was the first of a lot of things. Like literally looking at this list, I'm just like, wow, like these first have like changed my life and just really made me who I am today. Like it's great. And and that and it solidifies what I'm doing now. Of just like I love doing this. I love talking about pop culture. Like this makes me happy. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, guys. I love you guys. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your grandma, tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your second cousin, your first cousin. Tell everybody about my pop heart. Until next time, peace, love, and pop.